Western Lands boast.
It's good to see all the ships and the... It's good to see all the ships and the... It's good to see all the ships and...
Sail for England. She was completed in Australia in 1928.
The Baltica, only a 4-hour flight to Moscow ahead. The Baltica, only a 4-hour flight to Moscow ahead. The Baltica, only a 4-hour flight to Moscow ahead. The Baltica, only a 4-hour flight to Moscow ahead. The Baltica, only a 4-hour flight to Moscow ahead.
Of thousands of workers hurrying their way to the docks by bus, ferry and the overhead railway to tend their ships. They were all servants of the many shipping companies that were legends in their time. Cunard cruises for as little as £1 a day, that's roughly £30. Cruises for as little as £1 a day, that's roughly £30 in today's money.
Надежней мертвый хват, но цепко держит берег.
At sea.
A tense grey dawn in the South Pacific, and a tense grey dawn in the South Pacific, and
Os conhecimentos, relax. A primeira escala foi Nápoles. Os conhecimentos, relax. A primeira escala foi Nápoles. Os conhecimentos, relax. A primeira escala foi Nápoles.
On the way out, as I think a lot about you and Dad and Katie. We got our...
Sunk in the process. 11 of the crew of the small Greek trawler being sunk in the process. 11 of the crew of the small...
Upended on the rocks off Cape Upended on the rocks off Cape Spartel, North Africa.
Monsieur l'agent général, j'ai l'honneur de vous transmettre.
Après une journée passée
frantic for news was heightened by the admission that the ferry built to carry 600 sailed with 1,500 aboard. The inquiry will begin work next Monday. It will review regulations which make it
ships if you want, like.
Fell off to nothing. Fell off to nothing.
Officers and men of the battalion. Their families are going with the 400 officers and men of the battalion.
And the Port Authority sure wants the cruise line here.
New York Harbor and ready for her. New York Harbor and ready. New York Harbor and ready for her.
Voltaire. During the Great Depression, the Voltaire and her sister. During the Great Depression, the Voltaire.
La Madson Line, dont l'agent est Baldwin Bambry.
Across to New York to see the food ship Sicilia, about to leave. Across to New York to see the food ship Sicilia. Across to New York to see the food ship.
Work 9 to 12 and 2 to 5. Hours of work 9 to 12 and 2 to 5.
In New York, the cranes dance a pas de... In New York, the cranes dance a pas de...
The first America, 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 the first America.
The ocean skyscrapers that daily come and go from this great dock and seaport. Skyscrapers that daily come and go from this great dock and seaport.
A big ditch had been carved out at the end of the 19th century. The Spanish-owned Montserrat having More footage now of the South Coast.
Safety through the raging seas.
The Fair Star is to sail out of Sydney Harbour this evening for its final cruise. Fair Star.
Waterfront's going to look a lot different when that's gone. It's going to be a whole change.
Tapping at the hull. Tapping at the hull.
Cut. E. Cut. E. Cut. E. Cut.
Clouds at Belfast are seen here in the position of having... Clouds at Belfast are seen here in the position of having...
Okay, now we're...
Wait.
Okay.
SS Atlantic. The Caribbean cruise ship SS Atlantic.
Soon head to Stanley Park to capture her passage under the Lionsgate Bridge.
Door 5 sleepboten wordt de stad.
And again is will this, and again is, and again is will this, and again is will.
Ensign of the new company is hoisted aloft on. Ensign of the new company is hoisted aloft. Ensign of the new company is hoisted aloft on.
Ensigns with pride and dismayed as they flew their red ensigns with pride and dismayed as they flew their red ensigns with.
Печали и тоски, печали и тоски.
The evening before sailing. Falls across London's Royal Docks the evening before sailing there. Across London's Royal Docks the evening before.
With the fire of New York Harbor roars, toots, whistles, and shrieks of pandemonium of.
To clear a path for the troopers on the Atlantic, US and British submarine chasers and
Today, however, our main container. Today, however, our main container.
Any warning whatsoever, she was torpedoed by a Nazi.
The disastrous end of a game.
Bogserbåtar och färjor. Fartyg, bogserbåtar och färjor.
scaricatori guarderanno gli ormeggi delle navi a Genova. Gli scaricatori guarderanno da esperti i
Whistle signals allow ship and tugs to work smoothly. Whistle signals allow ship and tugs to... Whistle signals allow ship...
Greater fleet was the escort. No underestimate here of the hazards that were likely to be encountered. Capital ships in...
Tell me when.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell me when.
Okay, go ahead.
Tell me when.
Okay, go ahead.
Drag problem that had cut her speed on from her hull had solved the drag problem, keeping of millions of barnacles from her hull.
Upwards of 350. When
A prodigal son comes home. 18 years ago, the first... A prodigal son comes home. 18 years ago, the 1st Battalion... Some pessimists doubted the possibility of maneuvering the 80,000... Some pessimists doubted the possibility of maneuvering the 80,000... Some pessimists doubted the...
Luara, Orange, Falaise, Moreton Bay, Winchester, Andes. Orange, Falaise.
Only the...
Go ahead, Howard. Just snap it up.
There's something rather special. You can feel the throb in the air.
Just by laborers working by hand. Here they use steam shovels, steamrollers, but most of the digging was done by...
...and obtain magnificent views of her. We wonder what the passengers are thinking about with a large liner and obtain magnificent views of her. We wonder what the...